Hello, welcome to day two. I've been sitting and thinking a lot before this how to start things, and um, it's funny how you turn this on and you go blank, and it's a genuine, off the cuff, live moment. Um, Tonight, um, I'm going to go through my full routine just as I do it. Hopefully, I can kind of guide you through what I'm feeling. Um, there might be moments where I stop talking for a bit, and that's just because I am, in kind of that meditative zone, or I feel like I might attain that zone, and I'm going to just take kind of a bit of a break and sink into that. And hopefully, if it happens, you'll be able to kind of see, um, a bit of a change in that position or whatever. It's kind of a sinking down, but we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if that'll happen or not. So we are going to just kind of go ahead and get into things. If you're going to follow along, great. I'm not going to worry so much about sort of telling you where I'm going or what I'm doing. If you want to follow along, please do so. I just have to kind of check in on the screen until you kind of get my general rhythm of things, I guess. Um, and please, if you want to start with different stretches, different muscles, different areas, please do that. Maybe try to hold them for the same length, or just kind of use your own intuition as to how far you should push yourself, and what's safe for you, what you feel like is an attainable goal, right? And don't be sad or depressed or anything if you're starting here, because this is perfectly fine. Wherever you are today, it's about being here tomorrow, right? And here the next day, and here the next day, and eventually, right? You put a little bit of time in, you'll easily get here. And I'm sure there's lots of you who eventually will watch this that are way more flexible than this. That's great, but it's not the important thing. What the important thing is finding your limit, right? What your body is, where your body tenses up, doesn't want you to go any further. That's where your muscles are starting to say, whoa, back off. If you go any further, we don't usually use that part of this muscle because we don't bend further than that usually in your day to day. That's okay, right? That's where you want to be. You want to just tell your body, sit in that space, tell that pain that it's okay, you can feel it, you understand, you're not going any further, right? But you're going to sit there and you're going to wait for that pain to just dissipate and just say, okay, all right, they understand, it understands, they, that that you're just going to relax that muscle. You're not going to tense it up. You're not going to sprain it. You're not going to do anything fast or anything. You're just going to release it and relax it, and then sink into kind of a stretch of it that is further than you can really get when you are just kind of stretching before you play basketball, or stretching before you do some other athletic or physical type activity. This is more of a sit down, be patient, be willing to just sit in that uncomfortableness until you kind of get to a space where your muscles release. And that has helped me to focus on releasing my mind at that same time in kind of a meditative way, which is I think that's what allows you to kind of focus on making real changes later in your day-to-day life, which is finding that headspace where you you have a different understanding of the world around you, and I think it's a good thing. Okay, let's go ahead. So we usually start in a fairly comfortable place, not pushing too hard, but just kind of almost warming those muscles up and just letting them know that I'm going to start stretching them, I'm going to start pulling them. Just kind of sit here for a bit. And breathe and just Stay with your breath. Feel your breath in and out. Feel how it maybe changes the stretch in your back or your neck. And just every time you release that breath, you just kind of sink into it a little bit further, a little bit further. And what your goal here is to find that level of uncomfortable pain that is too far for you, too much to continue to pull and press those muscles. Because you're gonna find that one muscle kind of stands out among the rest, and that's what you want. You want to find that place where, whether it's in your neck, or your back, or your hamstrings, or if you're doing a different stretch than this, wherever that individual muscle group is, you want to just allow it to release. You want to just feel your body the comfortableness and pain. It's okay. You sit here for a while, and at some point, just release, sink into that feeling, focusing on that individual muscle. Feel like you've gone far enough. Adjust yourself a little bit. Grab a different area, pull in a slightly different direction, and try and just incorporate a lot of the other surrounding muscle groups in the area. And take a bit of pull and a tug. Again, just always being mindful of your own body. It's your own experience. You know how far is too far. And regardless of the pace you go at, I really believe that if you do it consistently, the pace won't matter. Oh, got a bit of a crack in my back there, yeah. That's becoming a bit of a habit. So, yeah, the pace doesn't matter. What matters is the consistency with which you do it and your ability to just allow yourself to be in discomfort for an extended period of time and just feel comfortable with it. It's fine, it's okay. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's painful. It's fine, it's okay. And just allow it to happen. And
Allow that feeling of uncomfortable, discomfort, of all that pain to just be present, and be mindful of it, but then just move past it. And yes, um, acknowledging that that pain is there, it's going to be there until those muscles relax, but that's okay. I'm just going to be patient. I'm going to wait it out. I'm going to allow those muscles time enough to understand that this isn't an accidental situation where I'm in this position. This is a purposeful act. I'm putting myself in this position in order to feel that discomfort of that builds up, right, from not being in this position. You know, my body, just like all of your bodies, our human body, right, they all work relatively the same. They're all supposed to do relatively the same thing. We all have differences. They're all minuscule in the grand scheme of things. We're all people. And just use that sensation of pain that you everybody has, and just move past it. Just feel it, understand it, but then just let it go. Just let it go. Relax and breathe. I don't know if you can see it or tell. What I'm feeling here is in my lower back. It's being pulled beyond where it usually is. And I have a bit of a problem with my back. And I said, so this is one of my favorite things to do to uh, to really help it, the feeling in this part of my back on kind of a day to day. Right now, there's no discomfort or pain in that part of my back, but I can feel the individual muscle fibers almost just releasing little cluster by little cluster and just let go. And it feels comfortable. I can just sit in that position. And then even just moving my toes here kind of pulls in a slightly different direction or slightly different muscles. Or that muscle has relaxed enough that now I'm starting to feel it in a bit of my hamstrings and kind of lower butt, I guess. And sometimes I'll do this and I'll stay for as many muscle groups as I can kind of try to stretch out. But there are some positions, especially this one, that don't limit, but I'm aware of my body and I don't want to stay in that too long. And coming out of this, again, I think I mentioned this before. I try to go as slow as possible. Just I try to touch kind of one vertebrae at a time. Oh, I don't know if you heard that one. That it's kind of that. For my back, it's kind of almost a feeling of like dropping into the floor, and it's just very relaxing and yeah. Move on to this and just kind of lay here for a moment. And these kind of intermediary, intermittent breaks we have between major stretches. It's also a really good time to try to focus on the feelings of your body, but to be very present. And if any of you have tried to do any meditating in the past in any other way, this is that time when just relaxing and breathing, focusing on just here and now is, can sort of enable you to I don't know if I want to say in a different meditative state, but it just enables you to you're just relaxed. It's a relaxing sensation. You release a stretch that you just did for a long, long time. All those muscles involved are just completely at rest and released. And because you stretch them past where they're normally accustomed to being, them being relaxed in a normal position really allows them to be extra relaxed. It's sort of like just coming out of a really great massage or whatever you find is relaxing for you. That's what yes, anyways, is comparable. Just it's the most opening, just present, mindful feeling. Your body just sink into the ground. After that, this I start by pressing my knee down, and then once I get it down, I kind of help it down by forward or backwards, whichever one is more comfortable for you. And then once it's down, I kind of this stretch is not doing stretching, but it's not doing a ton for me anymore. So what I've been doing is kind of allow my upper body to just fall on top of that upper leg, and just however deep or however far you get to is great. Right? And you just again are just trying to improve on those lengths, those stretches, right, day by day. And I guarantee if you do this, you will see progress. And that's I think that's part of what's so helpful about it is because
physically, you can see a physical difference, a real, tangible physical difference in your flexibility, you know, in, in literally one day, from the first day to the second day, you will notice a difference. And if not the first and second, the third day, like if you consistently do this, you know, you will absolutely see those differences, and that's so encouraging.
And always coming out of any pose or stretch. Try to just go as slow and as supported as I can to just allow those muscles to kind of stay relaxed and stay loose. And then again, just really feeling more relaxed afterwards. And I notice this too, I just want to mention this. Um, I am usually tighter in areas on either the right or the left, especially when it's this is it's another stretch. It's kind of my right leg and right back. This one is kind of again my left leg and inner thigh for me and back. And this one seems to be tighter usually. I think that part of that is I generally, now that I think of it, um, start on that right leg more often. Um, so I'm really trying to be more mindful. Switch that up and start on the left side just as often as I start with my right. It's something to be aware of.
quickly after that, I like to roll up the blanket on kind of either end. Frog stretch. You know, hopefully you can still. The goal here is to kind of keep your knees at 90 degrees and then just allow yourself to sink into it. And then I find on the wood floor here, sorry, my hands are too tight here for my legs. I can't separate them. Okay. So the goal here is just to sink into that, the stretch in kind of your groin area. You want to keep your legs at 90 or as close to 90 as you can. And then just again, just sink into it and just allow yourself to feel those muscles being pulled. This one can be rather uncomfortable. But you just breathe, you think about those muscles, you envision them in your mind. You breathe, and when you breathe, they just kind of expand. You can feel them growing, you can feel them expanding. When you breathe out, you can feel them just releasing and letting go. You just kind of capture that feeling of pain again in those muscles in every breath. And every breath in, you just feel those muscles that are stretching and pulling. You feel them kind of expand and get just a little bit bigger and a little bit more this ease of that feeling. And then you just breathe out. You can feel that entire muscle just relax and just sink into just a bit deeper of a pull. And every time you do that, there's a little less pain, a little more pull feeling. And eventually you get to a place where you don't feel pain anymore. You just feel a stretching, you just feel pulling because your body isn't resisting you anymore. And you've passed that threshold of if you go any further, it could cause, some kind of issue because you don't use that muscle, right? It's not something that has been stretched and used and pulled and grown and developed like other muscles, like the same muscles, but other areas of that muscle, right? This is dealing with not only flexibility but strength. There's those areas of muscle that have never really been utilized because they've never been needed, past a certain point. So they've just developed a rigidity to them rather than being flexible and springy and strong. Right? So again, you just breathe in and feel that muscle grow, and then you breathe out. You can feel it just sink and relax into just a bit deeper and a bit deeper sense of pulling and stretching. And it might pull for a while, and then you might get to a point where you feel another pain threshold. And that's okay, that's fine. Right? And that's up to you if you want to stop at that second threshold or if you want to continue and move forward, right? And progress just a little bit further and a little bit further. Remember, you've already done that once. You've already pushed past that pain threshold once on this stretch. So if you find that space again, that's fine. You can sit with it, you can feel it, right? You can acknowledge it, you breathe it away. And if not, if you get to that place that is just too overwhelming, too much for you, that's fine. You just come out. Right? You just come out slowly and gently, right? Not all at once. Just a slow progression of moving forward with your hips.
One more thing to mention. You do find that when those muscles start to relax, you may notice that you're still holding tension somewhere else in your body. You may notice that you are not just other pulled stretch muscles, but muscles that are in completely different areas. Your jaw, your neck, your arms. You may be holding some kind of tension there. You might be pulling or pushing or flexing in a way that you wouldn't normally do if you were relaxed and just you know you want to find all those tense areas and just try your best to be mindful about keeping them relaxed as well. And as you focus on those, that drifts your focus away from the actual stretch, which sometimes is pretty beneficial. You might even forget that you're doing it, forget that feeling is there for a moment. If you rub your fingers together, you focus your entire attention. You use everything that you have to feel that rubbing, that gentle touching on skin on your finger. That takes your mind away from that stretch and allows you to go slightly deeper and slightly deeper. Now, a lot of times, what I like to do is kind of alternate between um, large areas of muscle. So if you do your legs and back in one direction, you kind of do in the other direction, kind of like what we started with, right? If you do kind of your inner thighs, just maybe even focus on something else for a bit and let them have a rest. And you can come back to them later on. The next thing that I usually do is it's kind of here. No, I think I mentioned before. I find this one not not difficult to do in terms of pulling, but I don't have a very good space for it. I don't have anything to kind of pull against, so I have to kind of push myself forward. And then this one to kind of pull me in the direction of the floor. And I just let gravity kind of do the pulling and just go along for it until I reach that place that is too much. You notice too when you stretch one area that when you come out of it, you feel a bit of a pull or tension in something else that you already stretched. I just felt a little bit of a tightness in my back hamstrings, but not like a painful tightness, but just just a feeling of sort of like um, I'm not sure even just a kind of an acknowledgement of it's feeling a little tight at the moment. So I might just kind of play with that position that I was in before as well to kind of try my best to target that specific spot or feeling and just kind of pull on the spot in particular. Right? And if you play around with your body, like if you're touching your toes, right? Everybody knows how to touch their toes. And that's stretching. But if you point your toes down, or if you pull your toes back towards you, you'll feel that stretch in a different place. If you wrap your hands around your bottoms of your feet, or grab your heels and pull, right? Those are two different things as well, and you'll feel them in slightly different places. And that's what I mean by kind of find that specific spot and just pull on that spot. One that I do sometimes. I'm not sure if I recommend that anybody do this. I don't know, but I find that it's helpful for me. So if you feel so inclined, then by all means. Um, but understand that I don't know this. But my kind of thought and thought process on it is that your body, um, if every single muscle group, individual muscle fiber was completely relaxed in your body and allowed to just sink, your body would sink to whatever natural position it wanted to be in. The only reason that um, that we can't be comfortable in those positions on a regular, normal day-to-day because you never find yourself in that position, that weird, uncomfortable, um, pulling position. Nobody sits like this on, their while they're watching TV or while they're working, right? And so it's sort of an unnatural place to be, which is why your body, your muscles kind of give you a lot of grief when you're in that position. You say, no, we don't want to be there. You kind of cry out. But I just feel like if you're able to relax all of that tension, all that painful feeling, and just be able to tell your body that it's okay, right? You're there, you're purposefully doing it, right? And you're there, and nothing's going to happen. You're going to be relaxed. You're not going to be tense. And then that kind of over time, over that, we're just sitting with that feeling of tension, kind of breathing through it and just allowing it to release slowly, however slowly it needs to. And you begin to feel it in different places again. Just allow yourself the time by using your patience, and this really helps to build up that patience, even in your everyday. And if you can sit here and maintain this uncomfortable, even somewhat painful position, and just stay with it, just allow it to happen. Don't be discouraged by it. In fact, just embrace it and understand that it's okay. It's not comfortable, but it's okay. And you allow those muscles time enough to be comfortable enough and relaxed enough
to just sink down, down. I find that one helpful for me. My goal with that, hopefully, um, I don't want to put any predictions on it, but I'm hoping relatively soon I'll be able to put my lower back completely flat on the floor. A little ways away from that now. I've done it in the past. I've done it before. And that was for me, that was a glorious achievement and feeling. And so I want to get back to that again. Um, a lot of times, this is kind of my, I would say, favorite and least favorite at the same time. I know that's a contradiction, but it is what it is. So what we do here, you can see, you're going to cross your, you're going to be on all fours, cross your leg across your upper body here, put your foot down on the opposite side, cross your leg, and then what we're going to do is go try to keep yourself as straight and in line with your hips and your back as you can. And you're just going to essentially fold over top of this as slowly as you need to. I really feel this tension in my butt, again, my back. Kind of, for me, for some reason, all this, when it starts is a little maybe based around the middle of the back. But again, we're going to hopefully expand on this a bit. So this is my favorite and least favorite because it's my favorite one when I'm completed, when it's finished. It feels great. I just feel it feels amazing. While I'm doing it, it is very uncomfortable for me. I do not like this stretch. But again, it's one of those reasons why it's favorite and least favorite at the same time. And you'll find that you sit down, your foot may want to get lower and lower. You also might want to roll onto your hip a bit. And you can take the opposite hand and pull yourself, pull that shoulder down, which will pull their hip to where it's supposed to be. You should feel a bit tighter stretch in the leg that's bent. And this is kind of the way to progress this stretch. If you're exactly where I am, you might be way further behind, you might be way further ahead. Either one of those is fine. Again, you're just trying to find that position in which you are stretching individual muscle group to the point where it is just before you cannot take it, to the threshold where you cannot maintain that feeling. You want to get to the absolute limit of what you can maintain for the entire amount of the stretch. You can understand, I believe, that it will work even if you maintain a very low pain threshold. Right? Even if you do not push yourself really, 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 really far into these stretches, that's okay. I think it will work. It'll just take a lot longer. I think the further you push yourself, the more willing you are to sit with that feeling of being uncomfortable and being
bit of pain, that helps progress, because you're not hurting yourself here, right? We're stretching the muscles and ligaments that are designed to do this. They're designed to be in these positions. The reason why they're tense and tight and they don't want to be in that position is because we typically don't use them that way. Right? You never sit in this position, which means that this specific muscle never goes in this position, which means that it's that area of its flexibility of those muscle fibers that would typically be used in this position, right, are all tight and tense and shriveled up. They've never been used, right? They're all atrophied, and in order to kind of bring them back, in order to bring back that strength, I'm really cheating while I'm talking. In order to bring back that strength in that muscle group, and that flexibility and range of motion, you have to wake those muscle fibers back up, to bring them back to life, and to pull them out of their sleeping slumber there. It is not a comfortable feeling, but the longer and harder you're able to stay with it, the faster you'll see major significant results in your own flexibility, your range of motion, your energy levels, and it'll just thrust you forward and being able to make any other change that you want to make. You know that if you have that patience to wait through the pain and feeling of discomfort that this is, any other challenge is nothing. You're purposely, deliberately making yourself feel this way because you know that given enough patience and enough time, this will lead to you being significantly physically altered for the better. Way more flexibility, way more range of motion, way more strength in just natural and difficult positions to be in. And then incorporating that breath into releasing those muscles, breathing into them, and breathing out those feelings of discomfort. It's been very helpful to me, and I hope that it will help you. Again, this is just kind of my current routine. It's very, it is what it is. I'm gonna try to hopefully add to this, and I wouldn't say that routine either is set in stone. A lot of nights I do things that are a lot different than that. That's kind of my general basic go-to, which helps me. Yeah, hopefully it helped you too. This has been day 2, and yeah, I think hopefully I'll get better at this as we go along as well. This is all pretty new to me. So hopefully you've been inspired to continue on this journey together. And yeah, hopefully have a great night.